Hi students, welcome back. So let us see what are the features of object oriented programming. So in the previous videos I explained one of the basic concepts of these object oriented programming, that is the class and the objects. So those are the main building blocks of the object oriented programming. That is, the object is the main building block of object oriented programming. So if we come across the basic concepts, means the class, objects, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction. So these are all comes under the basic concepts of object oriented programming. Now let us see what are the features of OOPS. Actually this OOPS is having the 4 pillars. So suppose this is a OOPS, object oriented programming. So the main features of object oriented programming are the abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism, and inheritance. So these are the 4 pillars, we call 4 pillars of OOPS. Why we need these 4 pillars? These 4 pillars are used to support the programming. So if you're doing the program by using the object oriented things, okay, so these 4 pillars will helpful to support while you're writing the programming. So those 4 pillars are the encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. Okay, so let us see one by one. So first one is the abstraction. So what do you call this abstraction? So abstraction is nothing but it is abstracting the data. Suppose it is nothing but something only existing as an idea, only abstract is present. Just suppose if you take the example as we said abstract art. So if you see the abstract art, you'll just see a painting with no image. Okay, you call that is an abstract art. Means only the different colors will be spread on the sheet, then it will looks beautiful. Okay, it doesn't consisting of any particular shape or nothing like that. Okay, that you call it as abstract art. It only hides the implementation details. Okay, so we call it a abstraction is nothing but it hides implementation details while just presenting the features to the outside world. So it is just showing the features to the outside world. So if you see the abstract art, you just feel it that the painting is beautiful. Means only to the outside world it just showing the features, but it hiding the implementation details. Means what colors they are mixing. Okay, if we get one color, how many colors they mixed. Okay, like that. Abstracting, it hides the implementation details and it only exposed to the outside world. Only the features will be exposed to the outside world. Okay, so coming to the main advantages of using this abstraction. So why we are using this abstraction? The main advantages are it reduce code complexity, and it hides the details, and exposing. So what it exposing? Only the essential parts. exposing the essential parts. Okay, so abstraction hide the details and expose only the essential parts. So I'll take one example to explain what is this an abstraction. Okay, so if you take an example, database system. Okay, so what is in database system, the abstraction will play a role like it hides the details of how data is stored and created and maintained. Did you get it? So here the abstraction is saying, if you take the database system, the abstraction will play the role like it hides the details of how data is stored. We don't know how the data is storing in the database. We don't know how it is created, and we don't know how it is maintained. What we know is we only whenever we are just typing for information to see on the screen, just we are raising one query and you'll get the result on the screen, but the user doesn't know what it happens inside, how the data is stored and how it is created and how it is maintained. Means it is hiding all the details related to that particular table. It only the things which are essential to the person, that only exposed to the outside world. Okay, means it's hiding the details and exposing only the essential parts. That you call it as abstraction. So now let us come to the another thing, that is the encapsulation. Actually the encapsulation and abstraction both are almost equal, same, but only the difference between here is encapsulation hiding the data. It also hides the data, whereas abstraction is also hides the data, and encapsulation is also hiding the data. Hiding the data for purpose of protection. It also hides the data for the purpose of protection. The main concept of encapsulation is here encapsulation will binds the data. Okay, so here what I can say, writing data and functions into a single unit. So whatever you want to write, that the data and functions, so suppose if you take a structured programming or a procedural language program, so the statements will be in the form of sequence, they are the structured sequence. Whereas in encapsulation, here whatever the data that the program we are using, okay, for reusability and maintenance, all the data and functions will be maintained in a single unit. That you call it as an encapsulation. So here you can take the simple program like it is encapsulation means. So let us see here. Encapsulation is nothing but it is writing data. So writing data means data is nothing but it is a variables. Variables are nothing but is having set of properties, like some different variables that are created. So writing data plus functionality. Functionality means that you call it as a methods. These are all bind in a single unit. That called as a class. Okay, these are all bind in a single unit. Okay, represented as a class. Okay, this you call it as encapsulation. So what is the difference between this class and encapsulation? Difference between the class and encapsulation. So class is nothing but model of objects. Class is nothing but it is a model of object. So then what is encapsulation? Encapsulation is nothing but writing data and code into a single unit. Okay, so class is a model of object, whereas encapsulation is writing data and code into a single unit. So actually the implementation wise, if you take in the form of implementation wise, encapsulation and class both are same. Okay, if you see in the form in the way of implementation wise, both the encapsulation and both are the same. It's also the hiding the details like the variables and the functions, whereas class is also hiding the details of variables and the functions. Means not hiding, it's just placing the variables and the functions into a single unit. The encapsulation and the class is we are writing the data and functions into a single unit. Okay, so let us take one example to explain for this encapsulation. Suppose if you are driving, a driver is drive a car. If you take example as drive a car. Okay, so what's the car is having? This car is having to drive a car we need the accelerator and brake and steering. Okay, to drive a car is having have accelerator, brake and steer. Okay, so if you are driving, you are just seeing the accelerator, brake and steering. You can't seeing the means it's hiding the details. What details it is hiding? The car hides the details of how many burns fuel is burns. Okay, how many fuel means the fuel is burns, and it generate electricity, rotate the tires. Okay, so the car is hiding the details of all these features. Burn fuels, generate electricity, rotate the tires. He doesn't want the car, whenever the driver is driving the car, he doesn't think about how the fuel is burning, how the electricity is generating, is the wheels are rotating, how many rotations it is taking. Okay, so they doesn't think about the implementation details. Means it hides the details. It doesn't show, the car doesn't show all these details. It's only showing the accelerator, brake and steering. Okay, this you call it as encapsulation. So in encapsulation, so it places all the features into single unit. Okay, so whatever required, that will be exposed, and it hides all the details. So this is the encapsulation. So in the next video we'll discuss about the remaining two features. What are the remaining two features? So that is the polymorphism and inheritance. Okay, so the remaining two pillars of object oriented programming will be discussed in the next video. Thank you.